You're listening to DraftKings Network.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing, but an often overlooked secret is the businesses behind the business making selling simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay, that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less cards going abandoned and way more sales going... So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Skim uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Batard. All lowercase, BATARD. Go to shopify.com/Batard to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Batard. Now's a good time to remember where the story of tequila started. In 1795, the first tequila distillery was opened by the Cuervo family. And 229 years later, Cuervo is still going strong. Family owned from the start, same family, same land. Now's a good time to enjoy Cuervo, the tequila that invented tequila. Go to Cuervo.com to shop tequila or visit a store near you. Cuervo, now's a good time. Trademarks owned by Becle, SAB, the CV. Copyright 2024. Proximo. Jersey City, New Jersey. Please drink responsibly.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Greg Cote, we were talking about the Olympics before, and you have been on this bronze medal kick since the Olympics. You and Stugotz, every time I walk in, you guys are talking about this bronze medal story in a way that you have not brought to air. So finally, let's bring to air the conversation that you and Stugotz have been having about the fight over a bronze medal that continues months after the Olympics.
Yeah, Jordan Chiles is the American gymnast who I think was sort of cheated out of a bronze medal. They could have solved the whole controversy by just giving out 2 bronze medals, but they didn't. And now Jordan Chiles is going to the Swiss Supreme Court to try to get her medal back. And no one in the history of athletics has fought harder to finish in 3rd place. It's just
just let it go. I mean,
at some point, she's more famous for the injustice and for being the victim of losing her medal than she ever would have been by winning the bronze medal. So take what you got, Jordan. Move on. Don't worry about it.
There are things worth fighting for, Dan. A gold medal is one of them. Perhaps even a silver medal, 2nd place. But 3rd place, that is not worth fighting for. Someone just send her a bronze. Anybody. Just give both of them a bronze medal. Who cares?
Nobody cares. A bronze medal, it's worth 10 cents.
Oh, my God. What are you doing?
He was right about the pennies.
What are you third best in the world at?
Okay, I'm exaggerating. It's worth more than 10 cents. Don't get me wrong. But it's not worth, a great monetary value. It's the thought that counts. But the thought is you finish 3rd.
It's 3rd best in the world, Greg.
I know, but it's...
Let it go.
Okay, great talking to you guys.
Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day.
Still confirming here, Dan, but I believe a bronze medal is worth $4.11.
That cannot be right.
That's right.
What do you mean that's right?
That's right.
Thank you.
10 cents.
They're not monetarily, they're not very valuable. It's
Right.
like it's a thought that counts, like Greg said.
Mm-hmm.
None of the medals have is the gold medal actually worth more than the $4.11?
Have you seen the price for gold recently? That is not real gold.
No, plated.
It's chocolate in the middle.
I read that a gold medal is actually like 2% gold. at most.
Right.
But is it worth more than the bronze medal?
Yes.
Gotta be. Yeah, sure.
If the bronze medal is worth it, how close is Stugotz to being right on the bronze medal is actually worth $4.11? Who's closer to right? Stugotz at $4.11 or Greg at 10 cents?
I mean, what's the cost of bronze? I haven't seen bronze just laying about recently.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's worth $4.11 if what I'm looking at is accurate. Okay,
bronzemedal.com.
Yes, and goldmedal.com has gold at $763.79. A gold medal. That's how much it costs.
I think bronze is actually valuable. Like when you're redoing, like when you see like they demolish houses or whatever, like people go and collect the bronze and then they go and they take it. Oh, copper, whatever.
Those are totally different things. Those are different things.
Copper is worth twice as much as we value it.
Yes, but your house isn't made
cents
of
per penny.
There's not. Yes, it is true that when they demolish a house, people do go in and grab the copper. Also, drug addicts do this in order to get a little bit of money. But it is not bronze that they're getting; it's copper.
Bronze scrap prices. Bronze, $2.45 a pound.
Wow. How much does a gold medal weigh or a bronze medal?
I mean, I have to go back to bronzemedal.com now. All right, I'll be.
What did it say about copper there?
I'll get back to you. Hold on.
Copper?
Yeah.
Copper costs. Well, first of all, there's a lot more copper than bronze. That's
Is
why.
there?
Yes, that's why.
It should be a copper medal.
I've got a couple of NFL stats of the day for you guys.
Duracell, the copper top.
455 grams, but I don't know what that actually means.
Huh.
Excellent work, Tony. I appreciate the contribution there.
How many eggs does that weigh
They
in
make
terms of Babe Ruth
statues out of
bats?
bronze.
NFL kickers are 35 of 37 from 50-plus yards this season. The only two misses are by Justin Tucker. The best kicker ever. Stugotz, do you have a stat of the day to rival that stat of the day?
I do. J.J. McCarthy has still thrown as many touchdowns as Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Bo Nix combined.
Nobody looks better among the rookie quarterbacks than Drake May.
Oh, I thought you were going to say than J.J. McCarthy. He looks great on the sideline.
No, he's injured. Drake May is the greatest of the rookie quarterbacks
The unknown.
because he's healthy and we don't know what he can do. I've got something for you that I want to ask the group and see how long it takes you to get the answer. The other day I was talking about what I believe to be the four best teams in football over the last 5-year period: Baltimore, Kansas City, San Francisco, and Buffalo. I think all of us can look at that and think about the last 5 years and say that those are the best teams. Some people might argue on behalf of Philadelphia. But when I say to you, name the team that has won more games, postseason and regular season, in football since 2020 than anybody. Go ahead and guess, because I think it's going to take you guys a minute to get this right. I don't believe. Go ahead.
I have a guess. Tampa Bay Bucks.
Holy shit.
You got it right?
He got it right.
Wow.
Well, the starting point was that they're one of only like 3 or 4 teams that have made the playoffs 4 seasons in a row. And prior to that, they had Tom Brady. So, pretty good wild guess.
I don't think that that's the way you play the game.
Right. Got to get it wrong. Let Dan surprise you.
times,
A couple of times.
I would have said the 49ers.
Giants was going to be my guess. The Giants.
Giants!
You got to play the game correctly. I mean, you ruin the entirety of the game.
I apologize for being too smart. It's been a lifelong problem of mine.
Tough life, ain't it, Greg?
Yeah.
Trying to educate these clowns, and then they get
Such
mad.
a burden. I want to play for you guys some sound from Nevin Shapiro here. Amin, do you know who Nevin Shapiro is? Because much of our audience probably does not know who that is.
Yes, he's an accident lawyer, right? I see him on the billboards all the time.
That is not who Nevin Shapiro is.
See, that's how you play the game, Greg.
Would Tony or Greg like to give give Amin some information on who Nevin Shapiro is?
He's the University of Miami booster who was sent to prison largely because of his involvement with illegal payments to UM or something, I believe.
That's right. Like there was a Yahoo Sports thing about him, right? This is not to be confused with the other scandal that Dan brought about with his reporting. This is a different report with a different mole.
He ran a Ponzi scheme, is what he did.
That's why I went to prison, I think.
Yes, Nevin Shapiro is one of the most unpopular people in the history of the University of Miami program. He was a booster who was very front-facing, a very small person, human being, who then did go to prison for an assortment of crimes. He's, I don't know what this is from. Somebody sent this to me, and I have no idea where this was appearing, but Nevin Shapiro came after me very strongly.
What are your thoughts on Le Batard? He's made some comments as well.
Yeah, well, that's funny. Dan Le Batard turned in the University of Miami on Pell Grants in the mid-'90s, his university. I watched Dan Le Batard, and I'm going to tell you a few background stories on Dan Le Batard. But let me give you one statement real quick. That guy's getting big in his face. I'm assuming he hasn't seen his balls in 10 years by himself. That's just my opinion. That guy's face is getting so fat, I can't even look at his face.
You notice how they have all the old pictures of Dan. They don't have no recent pictures.
Yeah. My face was fat. He was telling no lies there. But at this point there, his face is fatter than mine.
Also, Dan, he's been in prison for a very long time. He doesn't know what you look like anymore.
But you would think that you would lose weight in prison and your face would stop being fat.
I mean, the food's not great there.
Also, some people lose weight, some people gain weight in prison, Dan.
When is the last time you've seen your balls?
It's a fair question.
Thank you.
He noticed he didn't answer.
I have no idea what my balls look like. I did not have anything to do with that Pell Grant story. I am so tired of that.
I agree with him on that.
I am so tired of that. I object to that more than anything else that he said. Everything else he said was more accurate. I had nothing to do with the Pell Grant story.
Allegedly. At this point, though, do you wish you did? Because, like, it's going to stick to you anyways.
Yeah.
Why not just own it?
Yeah. It's yours, man.
Because I don't want to ever give up the losing fight for accuracy.
But Dan, when you're playing basketball, you get foul. You get called for a foul. You didn't foul. You might as well foul the guy. You're going to get called for it either way.
You guys did this to me.
I did, yeah.
Stugotz and Billy. What do you mean how? Because you guys have kept up this lie.
Nevin was listening to the show in prison? I don't think so.
It's your story. I mean,
can you guys just put up the face of Nevin Shapiro, please? And I just don't think you should be throwing croissants when you live in a fat house with me. Like, I just don't think it's something you should be doing. His face is not skinny.
In fairness, I think he said it's my opinion that Dan hasn't seen his
You know
balls
what?
in 10 years.
You know what? Fair point, Nevin. Fair point.
he's entitled to it.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing, but an often overlooked secret is the businesses behind the business making selling simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret with Shop Pay, that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less cards going abandoned and way more sales going... So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Skim uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Batard. All lowercase, BATARD. Go to shopify.com/Batard to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Batard.
Stugotz, I'm not going to lie, my golf game, I've really been struggling with my irons recently.
Right. I struggle with that word.
Irons.
I can't say it.
Go ahead.
You're going to say it for me.
Try, let me hear
Iron.
Yeah, you
can't say
can't.
it. I'm telling you, I can't say it.
My iron game is always a work in progress.
Yeah, but you're a good golfer, man. You're telling me you got better?
I'm telling you, PXG is a game changer. Whether you're like me and you shoot low 80s, whether you're like Stugotz and you got a little bit of a higher score, you need to go to a PXG location, get yourself fitted, because these irons, I swear I've knocked 7 to 8 strokes off my game.
So I've been playing golf for a long time. I've never had a fitting done. I went to the PXG fitting. I went out to Weston Hills Country Club. Steve, the fitter, was out there. It took less than an hour. I brought out my old clubs. He said, "What are you doing with these things?"
Yeah.
He threw them in the garbage, and he started making my new clubs. And what I realized, Chris, and Steve is fantastic, and if I ever get another fitting, the only place I'm going to is PXG. PXG. What he told me was, your grips are too thin, the clubs are too long, gave me shorter clubs, gave me thicker grips, and I have taken 5 to 6 strokes off of my score.
PXG has multiple fitting locations in your area. You look up a location, you bring your clubs, you get fitted. Weeks later, you have brand new clubs, the best irons you've ever hit. The new Black Ops irons are game improvement missile launchers. They feature X-Core 2 technology. It's just a game changer.
They're incredibly easy to hit. They're incredibly affordable as well. They are only $149.99 a stick. How about that?
That's a great price.
Take the PXG
irons
challenge. It's a ton of fun. And if PXG's new Black Ops
irons
don't outperform your current
irons
by delivering either more distance or tighter dispersion during your fitting, you'll get a $100 MasterCard rewards card. Hurry. This offer ends October 7th. Book your fitting today at pxg.com. That's pxg.com. I can't say the word irons. See? That's why Chris said it.
Hey y'all, it's Mike, and as you know, it is football season, the all-consuming football season. You live it, you breathe it, and you want to watch it as much as possible, both on your TV, but also sometimes you want to be a part of that atmosphere. But guess what? You don't have tickets. It's a sold-out event. What are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you exactly what you do. You download the Game Time app. For my money, it's the best app on that secondary ticket marketplace for a ton of reasons. But one of the reasons I want you to check it out for is this awesome new feature called Game Time Picks. It makes getting your tickets to see your favorite teams play even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Do it yourself. Pick an upcoming game on the app. Browse through the seats. I'm telling you right now, you'll love Game Time Picks. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time.
Dan Le Batard.
Quiet man. I'm a married man. I don't cheat on my wife, despite that gratuitous line back in my day.
You wrote.
Stugotz.
I wish you were here, my wife. I really miss her. No, I don't. That's the thing about being married. You know, you're not allowed to say, I don't miss my wife. I've been gone 2 days. I haven't been gone long enough to miss my wife. I'm sorry. I call her. I'm on the phone with her for 30 seconds. You know, what am I? Hello. All right, we'll see ya. All right, and then, I'm going to see her in 2 days. How's Jumpin' Charlie? Good.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by Smirnoff. We do game days. Please drink responsibly. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York.
A reminder that the Gen CFB segment is getting very popular, and if you want your college football, if we haven't talked about it enough, and we have not here, in the postgame, you will have plenty of Jessica and Lucy breaking down all of your college football needs. We have to get to more important matters like Amin finally putting together this 100 GREG COTES Were Surveyed game. I was hoping to do that game with Stugotz physically on Tony's shoulders, but Tony's back hurts and he says he can't do that today.
Not today, maybe another day.
Okay, another day we will do that. Something we have not talked about, though, yet today, and we should have. We have erred in not doing so, is that Tua Tagovailoa is now on injured reserve, which means he's out at least 4 games. And if it's not a season ruiner, it's certainly a season crippler. And it is something that is, on top of everything else, the season gets put to the back burner because the reports are that he has no intention of retiring, according to Ian Rappaport, and he's been seeing neurologists. And Tedy Bruschi has given voice to what is some of the mental anguish that a player has to go through when he identifies this is his identity. It's what he has wanted all his life, and now he's surrounded by loved ones who are concerned about his, not just his mental health, his actual health.
You see as many doctors as you possibly can, okay? He's being supported within the organization, I understand that, but what doctors will give you is gray, okay? And they will not give you black and white. I have personal experience from this, and Alex, I'm sure you do too, because it's like, listen, I had a device put in my heart. It's like, okay, when I get blindsided, will the device move at all? It shouldn't. Chances are slim. But they tell you, they give you all this information, and here's it all, but what they eventually say is it's something you have to live with. You have to live with the decision that you decide to come back after whichever injury that you have. In my case, it was a stroke. Can you live with it? Can your wife and family live with it? Which is a whole different dynamic where you can go through a whole nother show about what it went to try to convince my wife to let me play football again. So should he retire or should he play? I did both. The other thing you think about is this: I can't go out like that. Yeah. I just can't go out like that. I can't finish like that, because to all of us, how we finish our careers is so important, especially when you get into 7th, 8th, 9th years and you've been in the league and you know what it's like and you've seen all these great players and all their careers ending. You have your own ending up here in your mind. Tua still wants to win and he still wants to have a career, and I would support him if he wanted to come back.
God, he's got great hair.
He does have great hair. Greg, I hadn't considered what he was saying there, though. The stubborn, I'm going to say masculine football player pride of my last thing on a football field isn't going to be looking like that,
Right.
like an infant whose hands are spasming.
Yeah, I thought, I give him credit. I thought that was a more realistic, more heartfelt analysis of Tua's situation than somebody just sitting from afar going, he needs to retire. I never want to see him play football again. All the self-appointed guardians of his life and his career. It's his, not yours. Look, I hope he comes back because he wants to. I hope he's never injured again, but the risk is huge. And it was discouraging news that they placed him on IR, because that means there's no chance we're going to get him in the next few games. He's going to be out longer. And so that's sobering.
This puts him out at least a month, and the bye. The bye is October 13th, the week of October 13th. But beyond that, let's get into what it is that you're talking about, Greg, when you say it's his life, not yours. There are a whole lot of people telling him what to do right now with his life. We had, if not forgotten for a year, we really put someplace else the idea that we were again going to see him that kind of prone. If he comes back and we see it a third time, Greg, if this happens a third time, then what? Like when you say it's his life, not yours, it's going to keep getting louder if we're faced with the discomfort again and again of, wait a minute, that happened against Damar Hamlin. Damar Hamlin, when he died on the field, that hit didn't look like much. Now this hit doesn't look like much. If I present an American audience a third one of these that looks like this, it's just going to keep getting louder.
That's absolutely true, and it's been 3 already. It would be a fourth, the next one. And at some point, the NFL has the apparatus in its protocol to say you can no longer play football. The NFL can make that decision.
But why are you okay with the NFL doing it and not everyone who's just giving their opinion now, like Antonio Pierce saying that he should get out? Why is that apparatus okay and Antonio Pierce's opinion on this is not?
Because Antonio Pierce has not seen the brain scans like the NFL doctors have, like his personal doctors have. I've said all along that the decision needs to be made by the following group: Tua's family, and Tua's trusted doctors and neuroscientists. Those are the only people entitled to have a legitimate opinion.
What if they don't agree, though? Because Bruschi's telling you that there's a lot of gray in here. What if those people don't agree?
I thought that was one of the most interesting things that Tedy said. He had to convince his wife to play again. And Tua's family, because he spoke to me and Dan, they were having those discussions the last time he got a concussion.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I would think it's going to be hard for Tua to convince family members that he's going to be okay and, hey, I'm going to go play again. I would think that's a tough conversation.
Yeah, and part of the reason that there's all the retirement talk now is that 2 years ago, Tua himself acknowledged that there was a consideration to retire. And at that time, the consensus of his family and his doctors was that he could still play and would still play. And apparently that's the case now. But there will come a time, to Dan's point, if there's another one, it's probably the end for him. I think he's counting on, nourished by last season when he played an entire year injury-free. I think he's counting on that again. I think he's giving himself one last chance to prove he can stay healthy.
My fear is the next one could be the last one, Greg. I mean, it's a fear we should all have. No, a concern we should all have for him.
Greg, it's very reminiscent, different type of injury, but very reminiscent of what happened with Chris Bosh, where he got diagnosed, and then he set out on this path where he was searching for any doctor who would clear him and say, yeah, it's okay for you to play. And at that point, the Miami Heat, and really every organization in the NBA, had to say, look, I get that you want to do it on your own terms and everything like that. Like, I don't want that liability on my back, because we're not talking about a guy with a broken ankle here or a bad wrist. We're talking about a brain injury that we know the science tells us that, not concurrent, but like each additional one makes it worse long term in a bigger picture. And so I look at that, and I'm not saying he'll never play again or he shouldn't play or he should or should not retire. But what I'm saying is, from an organization standpoint, at some point, even if he and his family are like, yes, let's do it, I don't want that on my conscience, that I was the guy that trotted him out and then he got lit up one more time, and then that's the thing that makes him into a vegetable.
I think that's why the Dolphins, as an organization, and particularly Mike McDaniel, has not weighed in on this publicly. Like, Mike McDaniel is not even saying we hope to get him back as quickly as we can, or I wish he would consider retiring. That's just adding to the pressure that's inherently on Tua right now. So they're just wishing well for the human being and letting the football end of it follow. And I respect what his decision is in concert with his family and his doctors. If he wants to play again, like Tedy Bruschi said, I believe, I support him doing that. It's his life.
But as his employer, let's assume you're the employer, how would you feel about that? You could say it's his life and his family, whatever.
Right.
But can you live with that? Okay, now we're entering a risk zone where this could have permanent type of damage for him.
Right. I don't worry about the legality of it. I don't worry about what's...
I'm not talking about legality.
Okay.
I'm talking about as a human being, Greg. Like,
if I'm Mike McDaniel, I trust the opinion of the doctors, of the experts. If they say, and Tedy Bruschi's right, whenever you talk to a doctor, before I had surgery a few years ago, I'm trying to get some, is this minor surgery? And the response was, there is no minor surgery. All right, they're cutting you open. In this case, no, they're never going to give him a guarantee. Yeah, you're perfectly fine to play again. Don't worry about it. They're never going to say that, but they're going to give him enough information where he and his family can make a decision. That's what I trust.
I think the scary thing, too, is when you start looking for doctors and other doctors to make sure that they're telling you what you want to hear, that's a dangerous place to be, too, right? There's a lot of pseudoscientists. There's a lot of people out there that'll clear you just because of your name.
Right.
You have to make sure that the person that you're trusting is actually looking at the science and making sure, hey, if we're going to tell you to go, it's because we believe so. It's not I'm telling you to go just because you're Tua and I like the Dolphins.
Yeah, and also it's important to note that he's not just relying on team doctors. He's consulting independent neuroscientists. So I think he's doing his due diligence. And I think the Dolphins, in placing him on IR, are erring on the side of caution, to say the least.
And to be clear, the NFL protocol is like a 5-step process. It's not just, hey, get a doctor who says yes. It does culminate with the team doctor evaluation and an independent neurological consultant that is brought in to say that the player can safely play.
To Tony's point, though, about getting a doctor to say what you want, and to Amin's general point about liabilities and Chris Bosh, I will tell you that nobody listening to this has any earthly idea how much the Miami Heat had to fight Chris Bosh on, you cannot get back on this court, even though you have found the doctor that is presenting the case that you should be back on this court. That fight was a bigger fight than anyone listening to this understands, because they could not accept the possible liability that we're talking about here, that America is aghast because this happens again to Tua, and this time he doesn't get up or he's on a stretcher, and you had plenty of warning. And what were you doing? Bosh found the doctor to clear him. That doctor was brought to the Miami Heat, and the league and the Miami Heat had to say, Absolutely not. We have too many doctors to allow you to do this to yourself, no matter how much you're willing to risk in order to play basketball.
What? Baseball used to be America's pastime. Like, what kind of Americans are these? We used to live in a real country where if Ian Happ would get a hit off...
That's enough of that.
I mean, God almighty.
Real country.
What is this happening in his therapy? Let's do Against the Spread. We need a palate cleanser here, and we've got to get to 100 Greg Cotes were surveyed.
It's a weird name. Pretty good.
Against the Spread is a weird name.
Surveyed 100 Greg.
You know what time it is. It's time for Against the Spread. And it's sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours. I think I'm going to go first.
All right. Billy is hot right now. I'm telling you, Dan. He is on fire.
Now, things have been going well as of late in terms of my picks and my big board bets and all of that business. And I've been pretty good. I've been pretty good at Against the Spread, not to toot my own horn. But you know what? I want to give some love to a segment that we did earlier this week. It was called Bet the Senate of Representatives. So this week, my Against the Spread pick is going to actually be Senator Peter Welch's pick for Bet the House of Senator of Representatives. I'm going to take Michigan plus 5.5 this week, hosting USC Against the Spread.
Do we have any others, or that's the only game
We've got one more, Dano. We're going to the National Football League, where a team that you spoke about very quickly, just brushed it off. They probably have maybe a top 10 defense in the league right now. The Tennessee Titans are getting the Green Bay Packers at home. The line is small, -3, but if you were paying attention last week, the Colts look to be favored because Malik Willis is starting. The Packers, we don't know what's going on. Jordan Love, all of a sudden, the Colts go to Lambeau, they get destroyed, right? I think everybody's going to be a little bit too high on Malik Willis going against a very good Tennessee Titans defense at home. I'm going Tennessee Titans -3 against the spread.
All right, I mean, finally, without further ado, we were talking about the Family Feud. Put it on the poll, Juju at Le Batard Show. Is Family Feud one of the top 5 game shows of all time? Because I would put it in my top 5 and closer to 1 than to 5. I don't care what that buzzer says. I mean, how do we play, and is it the correct name of the game? 100 Greg Cotes were surveyed.
For rights issues, we have to call it 100 Greg Cotes were surveyed. I'm going to ask a question. As many people want to jump in and guess what 100 Gregs answered.
So you have surveyed 100 Greg Cotes. People like Greg Cody, essentially. Or just 100 Greg Cotes.
100 Greg Cotes.
Okay.
Cloned them, asked them the question, and killed 99 clones.
But are we going to try and play it as you're the game show host and we have sounds? But are we the team? Are we the good answer team? Are we all on the same team?
You guys are all on the same team. Billy, you're going to be helping me with the buzzer. You're the judges, I guess.
I have a question. You killed the clones?
Well, I mean, I can't have 100 Greg Cotes.
But if you want to do, if there's a second version of this, do we clone them again?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, fine.
But then we have to also off them again.
I can't have them just running around.
Look, one of them's enough on Tuesday. I've had one this week on Monday and Wednesday, and I'm delirious.
Can you be charged with murdering a clone?
No.
It's like international waters. You're good.
It's like, hey, who'd I murder? Greg Cody. No, he didn't. He's right there.
Yeah,
all right.
there you go. And there's another one of him right there.
No,
too.
no. Look at that guy.
Get that one.
Oh, yeah. How'd he get out of here?
So you're the game show host, though.
Yeah.
You're Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what you got.
Wait, hold on. Does anyone have to buzz in, or we're just going to ask people directly?
The team has it. The team has it. So we're going, and I have a series of questions here.
So none of that.
We do for the good answer. Oh no,
that's okay. Hold on. Let's just make sure we have. So this is someone's buzzing. Sounds. We don't want that to buzz in. We want this.
That's
if they get
yes. That's not the buzz in sound. That's the correct answer sound.
No, the buzz in sound. He says we don't need.
There is no
buzz
in sound.
Ask
you guys are all on the same team. Obviously, Greg, you're not playing.
Right.
All right. Here we go.
But the point is to get the answer that Greg Cody would get.
Correct. Yes.
100 Greg Cotes.
They're just saying we don't need the buzzer because we're not playing against anyone.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, against the spread.
There it is.
It sounds like it's not even 100 Greg Cotes. It's what I think Greg Cody would say.
Yeah.
Well, we asked 100 of them.
I got it. And then
what do you think 100 of them would say?
Correct. Got it.
All right.
Now, are these
not the clones killed in international waters? Actual Greg Cotes.
These are true to Greg Cotes, not Greg Cotes that are going to go rogue at all.
Well, no, we killed them, so They can't go.
But I'm saying none of them are going to just throw in you ask what kind of coin would you throw in a fountain. None of them are like a nickel.
Yeah, no.
Okay, all right.
Well,
good. They would all say a 50-cent piece.
Of course.
Got
But I feel like there are like 17 Greg Cotes that the answer will be just that kind of thing, like one of his catchphrases.
Baby!
Hold on a second. So you may be giving away some of these answers, Dan.
said.
Hold on.
Here we go. All right. First question. Name an occupation that begins with the letter J. And Billy, I'll go thumbs up, thumbs down for the sound.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I mean, journalist is obvious. That's what he would select.
Oh.
What?
Wow.
Stugotz, what do you got? Name an occupation that
Wow.
begins with the letter J.
Janitor.
There it is.
Really?
A little bit of a delay.
Yeah.
What would Greg Cotes say?
Yeah, what would Greg...
Right.
Tony, name an occupation that begins with the letter J. We surveyed 100 Greg Cotes.
A jailer.
Ooh. Jailer. Good,
He's
good
getting warm.
You guys want to say good answer?
Good answer, Tony. Good answer, Tony. Good answer, Tony.
It's wrong, but it's a good answer.
I didn't think that was a good answer.
Three X's. No, Dan, when you play Family Feud, you have to say good answer.
But how
Yeah,
is
good
journalist
answer.
not his answer?
His answer was jack of all trades.
Thank you.
That is a good answer.
He would say that.
Yeah.
Right.
Jailer was so close.
Jailer was getting warmer, yeah.
Next question.
Well, who is this for?
We're going to start with Dan and then work our way around, right? Same thing.
Okay.
So,
Greg's not answering any of
no.
these?
He's already answered.
I know
He's already answered. He was surveyed.
He was one of the 100?
There are 100
Yes.
Greg Cotes who
Well, I didn't know he
answered
was
this
one of them.
Well, there were 100 Greg Cotes.
Yeah, now there's one.
before we start
explaining the
killing
premise
them
of
in
that.
international
Yeah.
waters.
All right, here we go. We surveyed 100 Greg Cotes, Dan. Asked them, name something a wife turns on just to annoy her husband.
Oh.
Wife turns on just to annoy her husband. The blender? Sorry, I choked.
Stugotz, we surveyed 100 Greg Cotes and asked them, name something a wife turns on just to annoy her husband.
Soap operas.
Tony.
I wish I had said her husband's best friend is what I wish I had said.
Baby!
Tony. We surveyed 100 Greg Cotes and asked them, name something a wife turns on just to annoy her husband.
I think this one is that kind of thing.
We got to check with the
Good
judges.
answer. It's always a good answer. That's too bad.
The answer was another man, but that kind of thing is kind of like.
But that was his second answer,
Yeah.
so it was disqualified.
Yeah. Disqualified.
Yeah, he was out of order as
I
well.
was.
Yeah.
You're not allowed a do-over after
No,
you
you
choke.
can't do it.
Turning on his best friend. That would be you, Dan.
That's right. Erlene has done that a number of times.
There's only
Whoa, baby!
What? There's only one answer for all these questions?
Well, I mean, we surveyed 100 Greg
There are
Cotes.
100.
Yeah.
There are 100.
No, I know, but I'm saying they all said the exact same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
a
makes
consensus.
sense. Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
There's one number one answer.
Right. I think alike.
Yes.
Yeah,
Top
but on the
answer.
board, you'd have like 3 answers that you would go to. You know?
But that would be in Family Feud.
This
We're
not
Oh, that's
we're,
true.
We're
Yeah, I'm
playing
sorry.
100
I'm
Greg
confused.
Cotes.
Right.
Confusing
All
these
right.
things.
The top answer, Bill.
Let's move it along, guys. All right. Name something people try to squeeze into. Dan, start with you.
Tight pants.
Stugotz, name something people try to squeeze into.
A Corvette.
It's a good answer.
Judges?
It's a good answer for
Oh,
Greg
that's a
Cotes.
thumbs down.
Oh, wow.
Thumbs down from
Judges.
one of the 100 Greg Cotes.
Tony, name something people try to squeeze into.
Your wedding tuxedo.
Wow.
A small Shriner's car like they have in the parades.
Thank you.
It's good. It's a good answer. Now we're playing the game correctly. Don't try and give a good answer. Try and give an answer that one of
It's
the
what-
100 Greg
no,
Cotes
what all of them would
do.
It's
say.
what 100 Greg Cotes
Yeah,
would say.
they all say the same
Now
thing.
you guys are catching on. All right, here we go. Name a household chore that nobody likes to do.
Mopping.
Stugotz, name a household chore that nobody likes to do. Remember, this is 100 Greg Cotes we asked.
The backyard.
Tony, name a household chore that nobody likes to do.
Cleaning up after Jumpin' Charlie.
Ooh, good answer.
That's a good
Yeah,
answer.
it is a good
Judges?
answer.
It's a good
No.
It's a
answer.
good
But
answer,
is it
but
the
Not
answer?
great.
No. He acknowledged it was a good one, though.
What about Ollie the cat?
Cleaning the bathroom. All right, final one. Here
I
we
thought I
go.
was going to be talking to my wife.
Why was that? Why was
That was the answer. We surveyed 100 Greg Cotes.
That's what they said.
Last one, really quick.
Anyone would say
Name an
that.
occasion where parents force their kids to wear a certain outfit. Dan.
Halloween.
Stugotz.
Birthday party.
What?
Tony.
Datter Day.
Oh, Saturday, that might be it. That has to be it.
The answer is, I don't know. How is that better than Datter Day? 100 Greg Cotes said, I don't know.
Spitting the truth.
Saturday. That's
kind
the
of thing.
answer. Yeah.
Tony was on fire with some of those
Tony
answers.
was,
They were all wrong.
Tony
I know,
in the
but they were
neighborhood,
like
though.
well done wrong.
They were all great answers.
They were great answers.
Saturday. Holy shit.
Listening audience, a lot has changed over our 20 years together. One thing that hasn't, the great taste of Miller Lite. Yeah.
I think we're all saying the same thing.
I
The
don't
only
think we
beer
are.
worth talking about is Miller Lite.
Yeah. Although, but here, just so we're clear, this is a Miller Lite show.
I know it is.
And
96
hey, Roy, out of
calories.
curiosity,
Great taste. I
when you
mean,
were winning your barbecue
filling.
competition, I'm sure debates sprouted everywhere. But one thing that's not up for debate, the undebatable quality of Miller Lite.
You tell him.
Oh, it's
Things have
slow, by the way.
changed over the last couple of years, you know? One thing that hasn't changed, great taste of Miller Lite. And another thing that hasn't changed, less filling. Only 96 calories per 12 ounces.
You know, they sparked this debate way back in the 1970s.
The original light beer.
You don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
Now's a good time to remember where the story of tequila started. In 1795, the first tequila distillery was opened by the Cuervo family. And 229 years later, Cuervo is still going strong. Family owned from the start, same family, same land. Now's a good time to enjoy Cuervo, the tequila that invented tequila. Go to Cuervo.com to shop tequila or visit a store near you. Cuervo, now's a good time. Trademarks owned by Becle, SAB de CV, copyright 2024, Próximo. Jersey City, New Jersey, please drink responsibly.